And now, from the Marquee Media Studio inside Mark Tank, it's the Mark Haney Show.
And now I am here with Monique Brown. She is co-founder of GFX. She is also the person that is doing the heavy lifting, the oversight, the leadership, the coordination of our annual event, GFX. Welcome to the show, Monique. You've been on the show before.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Excited to talk about this event 2 weeks away.
We're going to talk about our favorite stuff, which is us and what we are working on, or at least that's for me. And, you know, I was speaking to a group of high school kids the other day, and they were like, "Mark, what were you like in high school?" And you don't want to know, but what did you want to be? What did you want to do? And you know, I don't know if I'd ever really had anybody ask me that specifically. I don't even think my kids have asked me that, but I think what I wanted to do when I was a kid, and I think it's true still today, is like when I grow up, I want to be a contributing member of a great team. Right? I want to be on a championship team, and I just want to sort of play my spot, play my role. And so that's why I think in many cases I've been kind of a reluctant leader. Like, hey, can you guys lead? But today I am fortunate because of you and Rick and Nikki and our leadership team. I'm on a championship team, and I feel that. I guess for the first time since we started our show, is I am really part of this championship effort. And at the heart of it is really what we're working on to drive entrepreneurship outside of these four walls. And, you know, a big part of that is GFX. And so thank you for leading. Thank you for, as the reluctant leader, thank you for leading. But today one of the things I want to do is talk about why we do what we do. Maybe start though with what is GFX, just so people have an idea in case they're like, what is GFX, buddy?
Right. Yeah, no, good starting point. So, I think what we're doing with GFX is we're calling it a cross-sector innovation conference, and it's really about setting the table for all of the stakeholders in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the greater Sacramento region to come together, to learn, to connect, to have some fun, and hopefully to build really our backyard advantage. And so it's our second year doing it. Last year, year number one was our little beta test. And it was a good event last year. We had about 600 people join us, and a lot of startups presenting from stage and some really fantastic breakout sessions. This year, we're taking it up a notch. So it's full day this year. We have multiple events within the event. We have 2 stages of content, breakout sessions, all sorts of great stuff. And really, at the end of the day, the why behind it is to really get everybody together to showcase the work that is being done and to talk about the work yet to be done and figure out how we can work together.
Yeah, from my standpoint, we'll talk about why in a second, but you think about this conference. So I was obviously at the last conference. We all did a little bit of lifting to put the last conference on that you oversaw and really drove. But it was different, and I think it was your idea or our collective team's idea to make it more, I'll call hands-on. And like, let's help each other, right? It's always been our attitudes is to show some love to our fellow Sacramentan, our fellow entrepreneur, but to do it at a conference, that's interesting. I thought you just go to a conference and you attend and you watch and you listen and maybe you meet some people and maybe you're inspired, but to actually feel like you have a specific role other than solo. You're the solo person that's coming to an event, or you and your team is coming to an event to get what you can out of it. This is a little bit more of come with you and your team to see what you can give to it, which is, I think, really a switch that is really unique. And last year it was really special. I think when we talk about showing love to our fellow entrepreneur, I mean, it begins with getting to know them. And so there's a big component of getting to know one another. What are you working on? How can I help? And we begin to figure out ways to actually help one another right there during the conference. And of course, we'll get into the details of what's going into the conference in a minute. But like, of course, there's, you know, a lot of the traditional things that are at a conference. But for me, the big difference is the approach to the conference. The approach is, what can I give, not just what can I get?
I 1,000% agree with that. And when we collected feedback from last year, it was the intangibles that made the difference. It was that feeling. It's a culture, right? At the end of the day, building a culture and providing great experiences. And it's hard to put your finger on what exactly ignites that. But I think certainly your leadership and vision and around what kind of culture we can build here in Sacramento and what makes us special, what makes this region special. And it's really setting the tone for don't be a bystander, don't be a spectator, come get involved, roll your sleeves up, and everybody can do that, even if you're just celebrating somebody else. That's an act of participating, right? If you're elevating, if you're sharing, hey, I just met this cool new company, they're doing XYZ, just, you know, they're seen, they're supported, they're celebrated in that way. It's not, it doesn't always have to be the big things, even the little things matter.
Yeah. You know, I think we're going to have, we're estimating about 1,200 people, double last year, hopefully maybe more. It's at the grounds in Roseville. The venue's plenty big enough to hold more than that. But just in terms of where we're at today, that's kind of, we're projecting out over 1,000, maybe up to 1,500. But I was thinking about the different events, the different conferences I've been to in my life. I used to own video stores, so there was something called the Video Software Dealers Association. We had a big event. It was a broadcast national association of broadcasters, a big event, right? These big Vegas events. In security, there's ISC, International Security Conference, and NASIS, and all these things, and they're all have a similar feel to them, and you are just a small piece attending. And this is, I agree. I think this is something that's not like any of those conferences, right? It's not that, right? So for anybody who's listening, whatever conference you have been to, it's not that. Okay, it's different, and I think part of the reason is because it's in Sacramento, so we all tend to know one another. Like, it's a community that has gone from 3 or 4 of us to 30 or 40 of us to 100 to now over 1,000, and people that get it, they understand the power of entrepreneurship. They understand the love of our hometown, and that they know that many hands make light work. If we come together, we can work together to help each other. It's very easy to do, especially in this, we'll call this a smaller conference kind of environment, but also with the way it's been built, kind of like from the inside out, starting with love. And then so the people that love it, love each other and get it, now the group is expanded. So if you're listening, you might, and this kind of thing sounds interesting, you might want to be part of this group, right? If you think this group might be for you, oh, wow, I could relate to that group. You might want to think about going to growthfactory.us and get yourself a ticket. So, Monique, I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think that, again, throughout the day, we'll have people certainly coming and going. And so it doesn't feel like you're one in a crowd, right? There's a lot of kind of curated experiences that are very approachable and that are very personal. So it definitely, while we'll have a lot of people engaging, it won't, I anticipate that it will still feel like you're in your backyard, in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of different ways that you can engage throughout the day, just depending on what you're, who you're looking to connect with and what you're looking to learn.
Yeah. Interesting. So when I was growing up in my early 20s, and even as a kid, you used to, growing up here in the Sacramento area, you used to be able to go to the video store or the grocery store and you run into somebody you know. And, it was I enjoyed that. I wasn't really necessarily hiding out to, I didn't want to run into anybody in the grocery store. To me, there was something special about the smallness of going to the grocery store and seeing somebody that lives across town, but you knew them. This is going to be like that. If you are in the Sacramento business community, and you come to this, it's going to be a little bit like back in the day when you go to the grocery store and you run into somebody you know. You will know somebody or some people here. Many of whom, what you might call the who's who of Sacramento, will be there. The people that oversee some of these larger entities, the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, the different venture capitalists in town, the different banks in town, the Entrepreneurs Organization will be there, the law firms, but the entrepreneurs, right? The people that own the stores you go into that are independently owned.
Yeah, what I really like about this event, actually speaking about that, is, we certainly at the Growth Factory, our fund is focused on venture backable companies. So high growth, scalable, technology enabled or tech companies, right? And there is a heavy presence of those companies. But this event, I'm so excited to engage our Build Up Rockland companies, our Roseville Rising companies, and many of these are bricks and mortar businesses in our communities that are doing really cool stuff, and engage in our community and receiving mentorship and support in one way or another. And they'll be there. We just wrapped up the King's Capitalize food competition, which was a new program that they have launched this year, expanding the Capitalize platform, and we have the great honor to work with them on that. A couple of those finalists will be there, and these are amazing, innovative food companies in our backyard, right? And so this is, certainly there is a lot of venture and venture backable startups, that are there and connecting throughout the day, and there's a lot of content for them, but it's not just for them, right? It's for the entrepreneurs in the region. It is for the Main Street businesses and the food and beverage entrepreneurs and the people who think, like, maybe I want to be an entrepreneur. We have a lot of students who are coming from our partners at Sierra College and Sac State and William Jessup, UC Davis, right? Because they're asking the questions, what do I want to be when I grow up? How do I get involved? We have a couple of our Roseville Rising for high school students that will be supporting and running our startup showcase this year, and so we have students involved in the programming as well. So
so much potential. I mean, that's kind of the interesting piece of this whole thing, is how do we tap into the potential of the people of our region. And I like how you mentioned Main Street companies and companies that maybe view themselves as maybe not tech companies, but there'll be people that want to grow their company. I think all of us, when you get into business, if you're not growing, you're dying. So one way or the other, we need to have a growth mindset, which means a certain amount of innovation needs to happen. Even if you're not technically a tech company, you need to have an innovative mindset. And by being around other people that are doing it a little bit different, doing it a little bit more innovatively, these light bulbs tend to click on, and that it inspires us. And maybe even you take one good idea and it can be game changing for a company. You think about Quick Quack Car Wash. Interesting example of, it's a car wash. Okay, what's the big deal about a car wash? Brick and mortar, sounds like a Main Street company, but yet those guys have figured out.
Jason Johnson's a rock star. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Right. Quick Quacks everywhere now. They've got them around the country, and they're based out of here. It's a car wash, but they have an innovative business model. So you don't have to think I had the technology to cure a disease or to do something in artificial intelligence. You can innovate your business model and scale it. How do you do that? Come to GFX.
Well, I think that's a great point. And it's really, I want to make sure we mention that we do have 2 stages this year. One of the stages is called the Growth Stage, powered by the Entrepreneurs Organization, who've been fantastic partners in this effort. They're leading a panel of EO members, again, a lot of different kinds of businesses, that will be talking about, their growth journeys. And Jason will be on that stage with Kurt Roca talking about Quick Quack and how innovation and a focus on customers helped him to succeed. We also have another company, New Front, which is an insurance company, right, that has gone from a Y Combinator. They're tech-enabled insurance, so they have a technology component, went through Y Combinator, which is a global name brand accelerator, and I believe their last raise, Series B, has them valued at $2.5 billion, I think, was the valuation.
Wow.
And
an insurance company.
But So, I mean, to your point, it's like, and I want to also point out we have a great panel led by Nikki Sims, our team member, on AI and how should all businesses, be thinking about AI and AI empowered growth and efficiencies for their businesses. And it's something that applies really to everyone. So
yeah, if you are not exposing your team or yourself to what's going on in the realm of driving efficiency for your business through artificial intelligence, your competitors are. So you might want to rethink your strategy. You need to be exposing yourself to those concepts so that you can get a step ahead. It's going to drive a competitiveness for your company. It's going to drive competitiveness for Sacramento. And I think it's going to drive competitiveness for America, because America is well positioned to, with our tech, expertise and prowess, and the way that venture is investing into these, this area, it is happening. And Sacramento, I think, is really well positioned within America, right next to the Bay Area, to really take advantage of some of those opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. We have multiple talks on that. Tyson McDowell, also TED talker on AI, will be there talking from main stage as well. But I think the other piece I want to point out, as you were thinking about competitiveness, both regionally, statewide, and then nationally, is that we also collectively need to be partnering with our public sector leaders. And so that is why we look at this as a cross-sector innovation conference. And we have joining us both as a part of the content, but also as attendees, many of our regional public sector leaders who have already taken, big steps in investing in the future through the work that they're doing, focused on innovation. So we're fortunate to be joined by the person who leads innovation for the Governor's Office of Business and Innovation statewide, coming up from LA to join us and talk about how the state's thinking about that. But we also have local leaders like Gloria Stearns and Hong Se from the city of Roseville, who will be joining us on the panel to talk about that, as well as we think about, again, together, how do we build a strong and healthy economy, a strong and vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem, and really think about how is innovation, going to ensure a better future for all of us.
Yeah, there may be a listener or two out there that can think of the old Ronald Reagan joke, hey, the government knocks on your door and says, hi, I'm here from the government, I'm here to help. And, so there is a group of entrepreneurs that may be thinking, why do I need the government? But, they're in the way. Well, I want to reframe that, because I think that there are a lot of people within government that get it, right? They understand how public-private partnerships can work together to drive outcomes for the private sector, right? For us. And it's us in the private sector that create the new jobs and, figure out the way to change the world and all this economic growth. I mean, we built America through entrepreneurship and innovation, and the government, many people within the government realize that, and they want to help create the playing field so that we can be successful here in Sacramento, so we can be successful here in California and in America. And those people will be here, the ones that get it.
The ones that get it. And I think increasingly, and I see this nationally, just got back from a conference in Indiana, as you know, and working and talking with, leaders from different states and working in different geographies. And I think entrepreneurship is no longer a cute side hustle, right? I think, across the board, corporate, civic leaders are recognizing how critical it is to sustainability, growth, competitiveness, and it's got to be factored in to long-term strategic plans. It has to be invested in. Yeah.
So you mentioned civic leaders, including government and people that are in economic development. GSEC, Greater Sacramento Economic Council, is obviously at the lead. They're a partner in this. Moneta Ventures is also a partner in this. And so there's an investor community that is going to be very well, they're going to be involved. And Moneta, specifically, Five Star Bank, some of the other financial institutions in town, but you have Bay Area investors coming into our town too. And it begins with a private accredited investor network that is open to accredited investors. Obviously, you got to sign up and all that kind of stuff. But maybe just kind of walk us through the day, beginning with the accredited investor breakfast sponsored by Five Star Bank.
Yeah, no, Five Star Bank has been doing their funders and founders kind of gatherings for a couple of years. And as this event took shape, and we've partnered with them on that event multiple times historically, as this event started to take shape, I said to John, what if we did a founders and funders, at GFX, and they were, as they are, great partners and game for some fun. And so we decided to kick off the day with that. So starting 8:30, doors open. We have breakfast by Mario's Early Toast. So again,
Mario's show guest at one point.
Some of our favorite local restaurants. And, we have a couple of, we have Tyson is coming up from LA, Great Scale Ventures. He'll be keynoting. Rick's leading a panel that includes some of our local venture leaders, Kwame Anku from Black Star Fund, Sarah Letterman, 3+ Ventures, and Marcos Fernandez from Fiat Ventures. We'll be talking about emerging fund management and the opportunity that exists with this group of fund managers. And then we have an exciting new addition to the morning content, which is really around sports in Sacramento, and another investment opportunity, but one that really drives tremendous kind of, again, similar to our tech, like culture, engagement, vibrancy, and economic opportunity. So
what I love I love winning, and one of the things that the Sacramento Kings have been successful in doing, I think the Republic's been great at this too. And, we've talked more recently in a previous podcast about having professional football here. And I know some of those people will be speaking. And one thing about professional sports, it's a little bit like entrepreneurship. We tend to rally around the home team. So as we rally around our Kings and our Republic and our Sac State basketball team and football team and stuff, we like to pull for the locals. And for whatever reason, we haven't done that around venture investing over the last, several decades. It's more like, we'll invest wherever the money goes, wherever my wealth management tells me to put the money. But there really is a way to own a piece of Sacramento. And this will expose that opportunity to a certain extent, because we'll be talking about kind of a put your money where your town is philosophy that the Growth Factory certainly has, but that also other people have that same sort of mentality. And so who should attend that? Is that, you said it's founders and funders.
Yeah. So
is there founders could come to that too?
Invited founders. So
so
immediately,
if you're interested, get yourself an invite. Don't just show up.
Correct. Immediately after the content, actually, we do have a curated and vetted a group of founders that will be doing investor presentations. So all of our funders attending the breakfast will have the opportunity in very efficient fashion to get an overview of some really high potential deal flow in the region. So I think we have about 15 companies, a couple breakout rooms. I think it's more than that actually, but a couple breakout rooms of companies that will be doing kind of some rapid fire investment pitches, and then we'll just, leave them to network and connect with the founders that they are interested in. So who should attend? Any investors in the region, angel, micro VC, VC, whatever, that are interested in getting their finger on the pulse of deal flow in the region should be there. And, we have our founders that we've prepared for those presentations, and they're invited as well. So that's the morning.
Could somebody who hasn't really spent a lot of time doing angel investing, but is curious about this asset class, but they're accredited, they've got a high enough net worth,
100%.
they make the amount of money you need to make, their net worth's high enough.
Yep.
If they want to get invited, they can get invited.
They can come. Yes, absolutely. It's a great opportunity to learn.
Okay.
Yes. And so 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's the investor breakfast, and then that transitions into the backyard awards.
Yes.
we're actually going to be recognizing the heroes of the American economy, of the Sacramento economy, right here at our event.
Yes. Another exciting opportunity. So partnering with Stoll Reeves, who, as you know, brought the Sac Region Innovation Awards to Sacramento back in 2016. They launched that kind of program in multiple markets and ran it here over the years. And, this last year we had an opportunity to talk with them about really embedding that in an event like GFX, where the ecosystem is already gathering. We're already working hard to elevate the work that's being done in the region, and how might we incorporate, an awards section to the day. And so we do have this backyard awards lunch, phenomenal group of finalists across 9 award categories. And so everyone is invited to this lunch. And so we'll be announcing the winners. So we have all the finalists already identified, but announcing the winners during the lunch. I'm really taking a moment just to, again, back when we started the Growth Factory, what do we hear all the time? There's not enough good companies in Sacramento. And you know what? To this day, there's still some doubters. And so I think this is my favorite part of the day, where I feel like we can say, actually, you're wrong.
Doubter. This is where we want to invite the doubters. If you're a doubter,
please come.
So yeah, this is, I think it's really differentiated from the Innovation Awards. I've been a judge on the Innovation Awards for the last several years. I think you may have done that too. Yeah. It's great, and we're recognizing innovative products for the most part. And the way you've adjusted to make it different, and I think really special, is we're recognizing people that are making a difference, and that have companies in many cases, but it's these people that are doing more than this big invention, right? It's not necessarily the specific invention. It's really you and the way you've brought it to our region. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think it's really people-centric. There are a couple categories that are for organizations, but truthfully behind those organizations are the leaders that are making things happen and are, so it will be interesting to see who wins. But we do have awards like our Golden Gear Award, which is really recognizing founders who stand out not just because they know how to build a company, but because they do it here with always giving back, like just involved in so many other ways in the region, helping other founders. And we see this all the time in our Growth Factory community. The people who've had the most success quite often are the first ones to raise their hand when the next in line needs help. And, so that's the kind of person we're looking for.
Yeah. And that'll be a special, is this an invite only as well, or no?
No, everybody can come. You can buy GFX Plus lunch tickets on the website.
Oh, just buy Plus lunch.
We would love to have you there, get a sense for
and the lunch is brought Rayleigh's, right? Rayleigh's is, but this is not the ham sandwich that you buy at the deli counter.
No, it is not.
This is Rayleigh's bringing on their catering division to
Rayleigh's is fueling a good portion of this event. Randy Peters is also going to be there, so it is not a sit-down served meal. You will get your own food. It is a buffet, but lots of really great.
By the way, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt you. A Rayleigh's ham sandwich is good. Yes. I was not trying to put that down. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's it should be a good, and one of our favorite new additions. Again, speaking about King's Capitalize, the winner, sugar coated cupcakes, will be on hand with, and I can tell you this because I've tasted them. We had to taste them for the competition. Best cupcakes I've ever in my life had. So she will be there.
And they're low calorie, no carb.
No, I mean, they're so healthy, I tell you. No, but you know what? This is a great story because, she has a vending machine, cupcake vending machine in the Roseville Galleria.
Get out of here.
No.
Vending machine?
A vending machine, which she fills daily with fresh baked cupcakes.
Where's it at? I like go in the mall. I gotta get today's my wife's birthday too. I got to get her something.
You got to get
Where's
her one
the vending
of
machine
It's
at
over
the
by
mall?
the Crate and Barrel.
Okay,
apparently.
Crate and Barrel. Okay, I know where that's
and
at.
she's done some pretty fantastic volume through that vending machine this last year. Really innovative business model with multiple channels, but the best cupcakes. So.
Would it be wrong of me to go buy my wife's birthday present from a vending machine? Would that be?
No, this is like, you could tell her it's unique. How many vending machine cupcakes have you had?
I think I could get away with
lavender
that.
Lavender lemon.
You've had that
the winning
one?
cupcake.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I love it. Okay, so backyard awards is the lunch, and then the kickoff is at 1, and this is where probably even a larger group of people will roll in and begin to understand more about what this conference can really mean. We put it on steroids. We start helping one another. Is that a fair statement?
I think that's right. I think this is where the fun begins. Well, actually, the whole day's fun, but the chaos maybe. But no, we have kickoff on main stage at 1. We're excited for our team to share a little bit about what's been going on. We have a wonderful keynote. Ira Aaron Price, double bottom line partners, DBL partners coming up from the Bay Area. He's on the board of Tesla for 16 years and just tremendous experience in the venture space, but really looking at investing with that double bottom line. And so, like, how are we investing in innovations that can really change our world and do good in our world while making money, So he'll be speaking.
That's what double bottom line is. Make money, but do good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be speaking on that. And then we have our ecosystem panel led by Cameron Law that will really give a snapshot of some of the really great work that's being done across the region. UC Davis, and we have Rashawn Davis joining us from Culture, Wayne Wiley from City of Roseville. So, representatives from across the region, across sectors, who will talk a little bit about the ecosystem building work that's happening. Yeah.
So the day is filled, the morning is filled with investors and awards. The afternoon is a series of inspirational, educational speakers. I understand that we have the 2 stages. We have the main stage and the growth stage. So those sort of speak for themselves. Maybe some of the keynotes, people that is John Bissell speaking?
John Bissell from Origin.
Anybody else that we need to mention in terms of like a draw that might be
all
a speaker?
Sorts of, I believe Osra Games, Michael Chang and Marco Tero will be joining us. Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll be exciting. Actually, just go to growthfactory.us, look at the agenda. The lineup is really good across both stages. I will say, put your seatbelts on. We have 30-minute sessions, so we don't want people, sitting and snoozing. These are content bites, right? So we're going to be snacking all day, right? So go grab bites of content from different areas, just kind of ignite your brain and make sure you meet people. But it'll be rapid fire, but a great exposure to a lot in a short period of time.
And we have breakout rooms.
Yep.
And I know one of the I want you to describe the breakout rooms, but one of the breakout rooms that I did not get to go to last year because I was working the main stage all day, but there was something called speed mentoring.
Mentor sprint.
A mentor sprint.
Yep.
And that got, as we did all our surveying afterwards, hey, what'd you think? And people loved the event, but that was one that got mentioned a lot.
Yeah. Well, this is the participate part.
Okay.
Right. And so this year, that will actually be right on the expo floor.
Okay.
This year, again, led by Cameron Law, Carlson Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and Startup Sachs, Laura Good. The two of them are partners in crime on this and do a phenomenal job, really connecting our startup founders with mentors in rapid fashion. If you're interested as a startup or a mentor to get involved, there is information on the website for how you can sign up for that. And if you don't get the sign up done before the event, you show up at the event, just go tap Cameron on the shoulder. He'll love me for saying this, and I'm sure he can fit you in there somewhere. But get involved.
All right. What are the breakout rooms? What happens? There's a set of, if you've never been to the grounds in the Roebling Center, it's the largest hardwood palace. My granddaughter plays volleyball there, I think in California. So it's big open building that can be broken up. But then there's also these I'll call it offices that are smaller in size that are kind of, we use as breakout rooms.
Yeah.
What happens in those?
Yeah. So in one of those, for most of the afternoon, we have startup presentations, our startup showcase. And so we have across the board, I think, just under 20 companies that will be presenting throughout the day. So again, a great place to go and meet founders who are building their businesses here. Get a sense for what's happening. You don't have to sit through all of them. Go stop in, watch a couple, and just see how you can help. Because in that room, because it's a public, so the morning pitches are investor pitches. They're targeted towards fundraising. The afternoon pitches, everybody's welcome to attend. We will have venture investors in there providing feedback to our founders. So there will be investors in the room, but the asks are really community asks. So they're not fundraising asks. So there is something that you can do to help one of those companies. So definitely stop in there. The other two breakouts are opportunities for more specific content and conversations. So we have, topics like food and ag innovation. John Sellup, Ag Start, is doing incredible work in Woodland, incredible work with UC Davis. He's just such a leader in the food and ag space. He's going to be leading a conversation on food and ag innovation. We have a panel on the government's role in innovation with some of the people I'd mentioned before. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, David Bland, our friend David Bland, who's the author of Testing Business Ideas, a phenomenal resource. Really great guy, is leading a live workshop. So walking through, testing business assumptions and assumptions mapping, which I'll tell you what is a super powerful tool for any business. And, go in and have a free live workshop with someone. And we have some books for those that attend, a little giveaway. And then finally, I'll mention our workforce panel, Lisa Thie, who TED Talker, AI expert, entrepreneur. She'll be keynoting on main stage in the afternoon, but she's also on a panel around workforce alongside some other amazing leaders, Louis Stewart from NVIDIA, Carmen Marsh, our Donna will be on that panel also talking about esports. But Lisa just published her book, Go Reboot Your Career in 90 Days. And it's really looking at, workforce and AI and stuff. And so she'll also be giving her books away and signing books in that breakout. So those are some of the kinds of things that are happening there. And
there's a trade show area in the middle, kind of in the open space between the two stages, where people will set up. These are people that are helpful to the founders. There may be some founders set up in there. There'll be kind of an area that's, let's call it, people won't be talking at you. You can kind of walk down the aisles and meet people and shake hands. Entrepreneurs Organization will have a table there. People like that within this community will have a table. And to me, that's kind of an interesting place to meet people, right? When you're doing that, it's a place outside of somebody speaking where you can actually socialize. And the other one that we're going to have like that is there's a lounge, and I believe there's a meet and greet with politicians, right? Which is kind of interesting. Placer County Association of Realtors has helped us bring together not just politicians from Placer County, but to kind of help drive this, bring in some of the politicians that really want our feedback on how to drive business. They want the boots on the ground. Let's call us the boots on the ground. They want to interact with us. That's a value to them. And so they're going to be here to listen and then answer questions. And that should be really helpful. There's not that many places where you can go, meet a bunch of people that are, again, when you're thinking about, a lot of us turn on the news and it's like all this national divisiveness around politics. That's not what you have at the local level. At the local level, for the most part, the Democrat Republican thing kind of goes away. It's like, wait, how do we roll up our sleeves and help make good decisions so that we have a nice community, good schools, stuff like that?
No, I think that's true. The expo floor is going to be great. There are so many entrepreneurial support organizations that will be there. We're super excited to be hosting them. These are the workhorses of this effort, right? A day in and day out. They're out there trying to help our entrepreneurs. So again, organizations like Startup Sac and the Carlson Center, Ag Start, Clean Start, Alchemist Kitchen, the Alchemist Incubator, SBDC, Metro Chamber, Hispanic Chamber, all the, organizations. And we have a lot of our business resource partners that will be there, like Montpac, who will have, and they're great partners that help so many of our founders with their financials and stuff like that. And then most definitely our founders. And this is a great place to go, again, learn about what people are working on. And I just challenge everybody to come into the event, with maybe a couple asks in mind, and to come into the event with the intention to walk away from the event with like 5 ways you can help somebody else, And so these are the places where those conversations can happen. And, we can set the table, but, we can't make the relationships. That's everybody else's job. Right. And
True.
So I see like so many people come up to me from last year and said, hey, we met at GFX last year and this is what we've done since. And that makes me so happy,
That's awesome.
So I'm hoping we can have that happen again this year.
Yes. And at the end of the day, there is happy hour. So for anybody who's wondering, you don't have to leave early. It's and a great place to get some of those deeper conversations going sometimes is during happy hour, where people are, at the end of the day, you relax a little bit more typically. But one of the things that I'm reminded of in the way that you describe the mood and the atmosphere is you, Rick, and myself. We were in my office up here, kind of over there near where Scott is right now. And we're getting ready to start the growth factory. And we knew we were going to do it. We had made the decision, but we wanted some feedback. And so we decided who are the 3 people that we should call first, right? Who should the first 3 calls be to kind of get that initial, put our foot in the water as we, come out of the 4 walls of these offices. And the first call we made was to Dale Carlson Center, Sleep Train. A lot of people know Dale, very philanthropic, wise man. And he said, what are you working on, Mark? How can I help? And I was like, oh, man, what a great attitude, right? Next call we made was to Barry Broom. He runs the Greater Sacramento Economic Council. And he said the same thing. What are you working on? How can I help? And then we decided to call the third person and financial guy that we all respect from Moneta Ventures, Lokesh Shikaria. What are you working on? Again, the same thing. Gets the call. What are you working on? How can I help? And I think it's that spirit that I know is going to exude itself in GFX. And it's because a lot of us are a little bit shy about how do I help somebody? I don't know what to do. I'm coming to this conference. Mark, you're telling me to show some love. You're telling me to help people. How do I do that? You just have to ask one little thing, same as those 3. What are you working on? How can I help? And if you stop and listen, the idea is your imagination will go through the roof, and the collective imagination of Sacramento's entrepreneurial ecosystem, the leaders, the people that get it, we start tapping into the collective imagination instead of just Mark and Rick and Monique's imagination and Lokesh and Dale and Barry. Now we've got all the rest and all of you. It's like the collective imagination is so powerful on how we grow our businesses.
Yeah, I can't agree more. And I think the one kind of sentence that goes through my mind as you're talking is that you belong here, right? Like I think the other question sometimes people think, is this for me? Do I belong? And the answer is yes. You know, if you can come with that mindset and that heart, then you belong here.
All right. So it is GFX. It's all about love. It's all about helping each other, all that touchy-feely stuff. You're going, Mark, are you sure? Yes, it's going to be okay. It's October 5th at the grounds. Great place. Plenty of parking. You don't have to pay to park?
It's free parking.
Thank goodness. You get your tickets on growthfactory.us.
That's fine. Yeah.
Anything else they need to know?
No.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Come join us. The only last thing I'll say is that the stay for happy hour comment, you have to. You have to, because the food and beverage, once again, I'm just super excited about our food and beverage entrepreneurs. It's going to be so good. Yeah,
Is
so
the taco
stay.
guy going to be there?
The taco guy is
favorite
coming.
taco guy.
We have our bao buns from the Capitalized finalists, our bao buns.
I don't even know what those are.
So good. They're coming to the golf tournament too.
Oh, okay. Haiti
You'll
Biz
have
Golf
one.
Tournament coming up in a week or two. By the time this airs, that might be over. Who knows?
Okay. All right.
But anyway, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
for putting on GFX. It's where we're talking about branding Sacramento. There's a whole discussion around how do you brand Sacramento, and I think we should brand it around the love that the Backyard Advantage represents, and the way Sacramento is uniquely positioned to sort of bring that love. To me, we're on the forefront of how to change the brand image of Sacramento.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
Thanks for watching today's show. My goal for every episode is that you find a takeaway, something tangible you can use in your business today. And if you have a comment about a favorite takeaway, feel free to put it in the box below. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up on the show, don't forget to let me know. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship. Because at Haiti Biz, we are always by your side.